Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Guitar Underground. I'm your host, Neil Santos. And today on the Guitar Underground, I'm talking with Justin Sowers from GuitarMadeEZ. Justin's helped thousands of guitar players online through his YouTube channel, Patreon community, and lessons. Justin, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Yeah, it's starting to get up here, out here in Arizona, but just enjoying the nice weather while I can.
I love it out there. It's a little wild having so much desert, just open space everywhere, though.
Oh, I know, it really is. Yeah, I'm used to it, but man, summers are this year. It's maybe going to be very hot, so we really didn't have a winter. So I'm kind of enjoying the nice time right now, just enjoying the nice weather and hanging out. So playing some guitar, playing some gigs.
Yeah, I love that. I heard you. So you were telling me you're playing with a singer now and getting out there and just entertaining people.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Actually, part of it, you kind of inspired me a year or two ago with your Beatles show. And I haven't played live in probably about 9 or 10 years since I had my first son. But it is so much fun to play live. One thing I've noticed is it's one thing to, sit in your room and learn songs and, learn popular songs out there and take lessons and stuff like that. But it's another thing to get out there and actually play live. Like, it is so much fun and you learn so much about yourself, I feel, as a musician, as a guitar player. So it's great to get out there again. We just have we're just doing a small little acoustic show, no bass player, just a guy with a guitar and a guy with a mic, and that's it. So we have, I think, we played a show 2 weeks ago. We got a show coming up this Sunday, if you're around in Scottsdale, Arizona, at La Fonda, 5 to 7. And then we have a show coming up in Mesa next month. But yeah, it should be fun, and finally, with the schedule calming down, it's just fun to get out there and play again. So I really missed it, and I'm happy I'm back.
Man, that's great to hear. Man, yeah, you're right. There's something about playing live for people. That's what it's all about. Teaching is great. Playing by yourself is great, but getting out there and entertaining people, really, that's the main thing. I know a lot of people have trouble finding players to jam with. How did you guys hook up? You and the singer.
It's funny, just pretty much through word of mouth. I've had some over the years, back when Craigslist was a little bit more popular than it is now. I would find a couple, and this is college days, stuff like that. I felt like it was easy to find guitar meetups and people that just wanted to jam. And then, I think with Craigslist maybe taking kind of a weird type of turn, got out of that. And it's basically been word of mouth, just through friends and other people that love music as much as I do. And one big thing, though, it's funny because I like to think that I grew up on pretty much classic rock, Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, things like that. But it's so funny when you find somebody else who has a love for music, but they like one band in particular, and it's one, niche band. Like, I had a good buddy in college that, I love Rush. Huge Rush fan. I've seen him live even, I can say that. But all he wanted to play was Rush songs. And I could play maybe like one or two Rush songs, and then I'm like, this is maybe a little bit too much Rush for me. But the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, I can play, all day and all night. I love that stuff, so.
Yeah, I think and I could totally understand that, man. If you love Rush that much, then a tribute band's in your future, I'm sure. But a lot of their stuff it all sounds like Rush, right? But the Beatles or Zeppelin, like you're saying, these bands, even Queen, there's so much variety in what they do that you can play all day, all night, play their stuff, and you feel like you're playing different bands, really, in a way.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, and I love what you did, like, once again, with the whole Beatles show. Essentially, that's what I aspire to do is, create an entire playlist of songs where I'm basically using my guitar as the vocals as well, whether playing over a track or coming up with my own guitar arrangements, things like that. That's like my ultimate goal, I'd say, for like the next 5 years as a musician. So.
Cool.
We'll see if I get there. We'll see if, life gets in the way, which it, always seems to. But
Right.
man, that's really cool.
John Lennon said, life's what happens while you're making other plans or whatever.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. So true.
Yeah, I love writing arrangements for tunes too. Like you're saying, they could find some song that's like vocals and band and stuff, but just arranging it for one guitar. I've always enjoyed that. So I can totally understand that. that vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's
Um,
funny too, because like with how you said life gets in the way, I feel like that's healthy. And for like anybody who's beginning, playing guitar and like, oh, do I have enough time for it? Even if you have plenty of time and you have nothing else going on in your life, life will eventually get in the way. And I think it is healthy to have those little pauses when something comes
yep,
up, whether you have a kid or you start a new job or whatever it may be. Sometimes you take a step back from the instrument, whether that's a month or 6 months or even like an injury, and you come back
true.
and it's like a breath of fresh air and you're looking at the instrument from a completely different point of view, and it really helps to spur some creative content. So
100%. And I don't think you're the only one that feels that way. I remember I was watching a Rick Beato interview with Eric Gales, who's just a phenomenal player. But he was saying that he's like, I don't really play in between gigs. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to play tunes. He's not grabbing it unless he hears something and he's like, oh, I wonder if I can figure that out. And he'll like figure it out. But at the same, he's not playing in between because he says when he grabs the guitar, when he gets back in touch with it, it's like a built up well of stuff that has to get out or whatever, like all this inspiration just goes out
yeah,
into the
yeah.
world. Uh, and it's beautiful, and you can see that when he plays too. So yeah, I agree. If you can't play every day, don't beat yourself up, right? Don't like
Mhm.
stress out about it. Just live in the moment.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's great.
My kids, I'm trying to teach my 6 and 9-year-old right now how to play at this level. Obviously they have a lot of stuff going on in their life, but I'm trying to just get them to pick it up for maybe 3 to 5 minutes a day, do some chords. I'll teach them a
Nice.
couple little melodies here and there, and I'm just trying to make them stick with it because, man, if I got to start when I was 6 years old, yeah, I probably wouldn't be here. So,
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. We've been doing the same thing here. I have a little drum set, I got a bass, a guitar, and we've been jamming on the tune from Guster. I don't know if you heard it, Long Night, but it has a pretty easy bass line, some easy drums, easy guitar part. But we'll take turns switching instrument. All right, we're going to play it again. Now you're on drums and you're going to play the bass part and I'll play the guitar. And then we switch
oh, that's
around
so
again and
cool.
again. Yeah, just to kind of get them exposed to all that stuff. My son takes drum lessons, my younger one, my older one's in the band at school and he plays percussion and all that stuff. So, yeah, and it's just so much fun. It's such a fun way to interact with your kids. That's like not video games.
Hmm.
Sports is great too, like, and video games are great, but it's another sort of, yeah, just outlet that doesn't involve words or competition. It's just fun.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. And it's just fun to make music. Jam
Yeah. Oh,
jam on one song and jam on one progression and just, a couple people coming together and yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
yeah. So I want to ask about, you have a very successful YouTube channel now, almost at 150,000 subscribers, man. That's fantastic. But I wanted to go back a bit to your origin story, right? Like how did guitar enter your life? How'd you get bit by the bug, if you will?
Oh, man. So, to go back all the way, I started playing, I think I was about 13. I was it was either 8th grade or I was a freshman in high school, and this friend I had, his name was JR, I remember he brought an acoustic guitar into school in the library, must have been high school because I remember the library, and he played the intro to More Than a Feeling, and I'd never really I mean, I'd been to some concerts and stuff like that, but I'd never really seen someone sitting near me playing an acoustic guitar and making it sound good. And I remember
Yeah.
everyone at the table was, like, blown away, and this kid, he had some natural talent. So, he played that, and then I remember we became friends, we played football together in high school and some other sports, and I remember at one point I went to his house, and, he was the type of kid that, you walk in his room and he had, like, nothing in his room. Like, I think he had a mattress on the floor, but he had a guitar and an amp. And I remember we were sitting on his bed, me and another buddy, and it was, I think, after school, we brought him home or something. And, my other buddy who was big into music, he's like, "Hey, play something for us." So he picks it up, and it must have been, it was like, just this Kramer guitar falling apart, this Fender amp that was, I could tell it had all kinds of issues, beat up, the front grate was all frayed, and he started playing Master of Puppets, and we were both
Nice.
blown away. And then he started playing Metallica Hero of the Day. He played that Offspring song, The Kids Aren't All Right. He played
Oh,
probably
yeah.
5 or 6 songs just and kept going. And we were just sitting there. And I remember my jaw being down to the floor, and I'm like, I gotta learn how to play. And so that
That's
was kind
awesome.
of my first really person that inspired me, and then it just grew from there, uh, until so that must have been around maybe 2000-ish, 1998-ish, something like that, and then I started playing, and I stuck with it. I remember I'd come home from school, I'd learn I'd go over chords. I learned my chords, I remember, really quick,
Mm.
and I just went from diagrams I found on Tab Crawler and I think some of the popular sites at the time. I forgot some of the other ones. But, learned some chords and then learned some songs, and then I started playing in front of people. I remember, like, people
Nice.
that come over to my house or family and stuff, and they're like, "Wow, you should really, do something with that." And I mean, I wasn't, I felt like I was never naturally gifted, but I felt like I had the capacity to just dedicate myself and take any little time I had to sit down and just learn chords.
Yeah.
So I learned a bunch of cover songs. I ended up this was a learning lesson for me, but I didn't know how to sing. And I never really tried singing. And I remember there was a project for school and it was like kind of like a talent show for theater. And I wasn't a theater major or anything, but I had theater as an elective. And I remember uh I remember I'll play a song. So
Right.
I learned Adam's song on guitar, and that was no problem. Adam's song, I think it's in drop D tuning, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was the whole like, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it came down to, and I think the rhythm part of the verse is just some power chords, and it's no big deal. And so I sat down, and I remember I rehearsed the song. I knew the song by heart, but I never really tried singing with it. So I had the lyrics in front of me, and then when it came down to it, it was my turn to go, and I remember there was all my friends in my class. There was
Yeah.
girls, I think one I had a crush on at the time, and I started to sing, and it was awful. I mean, it
Oh,
was like,
no.
"I never thought I'd die alone," and it was just the most embarrassing experience of my life up until that point.
Oh,
And so I
man.
heard myself sing, and I'm like, "I suck." And then all of a sudden, I'm just thinking about how much I suck. And then I couldn't play the
Oh.
song and it was a train wreck.
Oh,
But
man.
what I've learned is you'll have those moments where you literally just foul up and
Mhm.
you just got to get through it, get through the moment, and you put it in your, it's probably healthier to just get it out of your mind. But you know what? It makes you a better guitar player. And if you do
It
decide to
does.
play live and perform, that stuff's going to happen. So,
Oh,
like, just
yeah.
roll with it, and you probably think about it a lot more than I can guarantee you, like, I've come to terms with it, I'm good with it now, but none of those people remember it, and I probably,
Right.
thought about it every day up until about 10 years ago, and then I'm like, "Ah, who cares?" So,
You gotta let it
um,
go.
just let it go, just let it go. But yeah, no, so then, fast forward, I taught some friends at school how to play guitar, a couple buddies on my football team, and then in 2007, YouTube was fairly new. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll post some stuff online, see what happens."
Yeah.
And my very first video, it's still on there, I should take it off, but
No.
it's me. No, 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 well, if you saw it, you might I was living in my parents' house. I was probably, I don't know, 22, and it was me playing the solo from Comfortably Numb, on
Ooh,
my bed.
nice.
I had, like, clothes on my bed, like, my bed's not made,
Oh,
and it's horrible quality, but I nailed the solo, and I had
nice.
tons of people right after. I think I got, like, 154,000 views, which at the time, that was a lot. And I remember
Yeah.
people like, "Dude, teach me, give me a tab, teach me, I need the tab." And I'm like, okay. So then I did a couple more songs. I did Traffic, Dear Mr. Fantasy
Ooh,
with the
love that song.
solo. That's a great song, man. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite, like, classic rock, blues solos.
Yeah.
And people kept on being like, dude, show me how. So I started making videos. And And yeah, I mean, I was cranking out videos before kids. I was cranking out, a couple videos a week, and it was easy to do. And then as my career progressed, as we had kids, got married, settled down, like it's been hard to find the time to, I do as many as I can, as many videos as I can. And then like right now, like I've taken a little bit of a hiatus for a couple months or two, just trying to promote at work and kids sports and helping with
Yeah.
coaching and stuff like that, and then also playing live. So it's taking a little seat back, but I plan on coming back as soon as this promotional process is done, which should be in like a month. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love teaching people. I love connecting with people. It's amazing how many people out there will see your videos if you just put them out there and you just keep at it.
Yeah.
A couple last little things is that's good and bad because I know that I put and I love this guy. It's Jonathan Edwards, I believe. So he had some songs in the 60s. The big one was Sunshine Go Away Today. It's been in a bunch of
Mm.
movies that are set around 1960s. I think, man, if I remember it. And Sunshine Go Away Today. That kind of
Oh,
song.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I know that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song, and I've always had, the utmost respect for the guy, and I felt bad though because I was making a video and I'm like, "Hey, here's a lesson from Jonathan Edwards. He was kind of a one-hit wonder in 1960 whatever." And I put the
Uh-oh.
video up, and the video, I get this comment on there. It's like, "Hey, man, thanks, but I'm really not a one-hit wonder. Actually, you should check out all the songs in my
Oh.
catalog." And I'm like, "Is that really him?" And I went, and it was really him. And I'm like, "I am so
Oh.
sorry, man." So once again, I mean, yeah, I think I've learned a lot
Wow.
the hard way when it comes to
Yeah.
music and YouTube channels and all that
But
stuff. So
that's fantastic though that you reached him and, you know, that's very cool. That's very cool. I remember
yeah.
you know, I had a similar experience once. I posted a video of me playing "I Remember You" solo on. It's on YouTube, but I posted on X. It was Twitter back then, and I think it was Scotty Hill like commented on it or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, it's cool," and shared it. I was like, "What?
Like, no way.
Unbelievable!" Yeah, yeah. You feel, but I
Uh,
mean, at least it could have been like, "Yeah, that's wrong." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's not how you play it.
That's one of the nicer comments I've actually that's another thing too is you just got to be ready for thick skin because no matter
True.
what, everybody's always out there and critiquing and offering their
Yeah.
2 cents on, whatever. So, but yeah, but that's just comes with the territory.
It does, man. You gotta put yourself out there. I was listening to Gary Vee today talking about that, like, "Just go and do it, man, like, don't worry about it. If someone comments on you, don't feel bad about yourself, feel bad for them," or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
they go out of their
Yeah.
way to say mean things to people they don't know, and it's like, "Well, yeah, I guess that's
Oh
true,
yeah.
man."
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's true. It's true.
so what's something, about running a guitar channel on YouTube that people don't see? Like, what's something that's
Oh man. Well, I feel like there's so much that goes into it. And, my whole purpose is I just want to help people, in whatever way I can, learn the instrument, whatever. I made an ebook years ago because people were like, "Hey, teach me, from square one, how to play chords and then songs and then scales and yada yada yada." And I feel like I'm really good
Mhm.
at teaching beginners. Um, uh, there's so much that goes into it from a standpoint of like editing and marketing and consistency. And I think the biggest thing that I've noticed since I've gotten older and just a family and work and things like that is just it can really take control of your life because you always have to be posting in order to be successful. You always have to be, bringing new content out. And, now it's short form videos. It's
Right.
videos, that are 10 seconds long. And I'm kind of old school where it's like, you know what? If I'm going to teach you a song, I want to teach you from beginning to end, show you all the parts, all the fills, everything I
Right.
can. And it might be a 15-minute video, but I think as a world and as a society now, we're so programmed to be, I want to learn it now. And if it's 10
Right.
minutes, I don't even want to look at it. It's got to be 15 seconds. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what I see is really taking off. And I'm trying to, I'm trying to bring as many new songs as possible that I can, but it is tough because, I'll do one song and then I have to make the same song for a short form video, and then the same song for a TikTok video, and then the same
Mm,
song, that fits Facebook's algorithm. And so there's a lot on the back end that I think people don't know. And if you do watch my channel and, you're used to my videos and stuff like that, they're still coming out. But just right now, I'm regrouping and I'm trying to find a way that I can still be relevant, even though there's, short form is the way to go now. Cause I feel like if you put a video out that's 15 minutes, it just doesn't get the views. Now, short form, that same video, if I teach you, 10% of what I taught you in the full video, if I put it into a, 1 minute video and put it
yeah.
out there, it gets an insane amount of views. So yeah, it's just kind of like rolling with the algorithm, staying relevant. And at the end of the day, if I just reach one person, if I can teach one person one thing and create a relationship, I'm happy. So that's kind of where what I've
Yeah.
been, accustomed to lately is, hey, you know what? I'll put it out there. If it gets a ton of views, great. If it gets 3 views, I don't care as long as it's helping people. So
I love that. That's like your motivation is in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like you just want to help people. And I feel the same way. Like it's so difficult that it would be so much easier just to not do it. But I don't know if you feel like me where you're just driven because you're like, I know this will help somebody and I can help them.
mhm.
And that's why you do it. Um, but yeah, I mean, even still, like some of your newer videos are like 3 or 4 minutes, and you're so good at being so efficient in teaching them. Like you demonstrate a little bit, and as it's playing, then you're introducing the song, and then you're like, okay, here's the first part, and like it's so well done, man. Like I was watching
I
the
appreciate that. Thanks,
Oasis
man.
one. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. It's well deserved. Like you have it down, and you're not you have the you demonstrate it, you have the chord grids there, so you're not going like, okay, like you because the people that you're showing probably know how to make a G chord, but just in
Mhm.
case you have the chord grids there, but you're not going into the weeds as much like, okay, to make a G chord, you just put your third finger here and your second, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just flows through. It's so easy to watch and like just pick everything up and you show the strum. You're like, all right, before we go on, I just want to show you like the strum pattern and you have it on the screen there. Like you have your thing down. So you can tell there's a lot
Yeah,
of
I
work that
appreciate
goes
that.
into it.
Yeah, it's definitely come a long way because the first, oh man, if you don't go back into my early videos, but there's so many little
Now I
things
have to.
like yeah, there's some Easter eggs in there because like I remember at one point I was at Walmart and I was teaching all these Beatles songs. I went through like a total. I've had so many Beatles phases in my life. It's crazy, but I'm a lifelong,
I love
Beatles
that.
fan.
Yeah.
But I found these Beatles shirts at like it was either Walmart or Target, and I bought the Let It Be one, I bought the Helter Skelter one, there was
Oh.
like 5 of them, and so I had them. And I remember I was doing a video. Man, it was Hey Jude or like Norwegian Wood or something.
Mm.
And what's hilarious was I had the shirt on. I threw the shirt on. I just got home. I was making the lesson, and then instantly the video is getting all these comments, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Holy crap! Like, what's the deal?" Turns out I have the sticker that says large still on, and everybody
No.
is like, "Hey, dude, take the sticker off your shirt. Take the sticker off your shirt, dude. Take the stick." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, it ended up helping the video and bumping it up in the algorithm. So sometimes that stuff
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Man, I don't know if you saw the guy on TikTok. That's so funny, man. It's those unusual things that make people comment. I remember this guy on
yeah,
TikTok. He'll be like, "Websites you should know, number 206 or whatever," and it just tells you about the site. But in every video, he'll like mispronounce something that's so obvious.
really,
Like
I've never picked. I know the guy you're talking about. I never picked that up.
yeah, he always does. Like he'll be like, "You can play Super Mario or Mario or whatever," and people be like, "It's Mario, dude," or whatever. But
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they comment and so many people comment, his videos take off. And he's always showing
Wow.
cool stuff. But I noticed that I was like, every time, man, he says at least one thing that's like ridiculously mispronounced. So
That's so
I'm
funny. I gotta pick that up. Yeah. Huh.
yeah. So I'm gonna start actually putting. I'm gonna go buy some size stickers for all my shirts. See what happens.
Just
It's
slap
worth
them
a
on
shot.
there.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude, I
that's
still
great.
think back to the, like, the biggest part and, like, I'll be dead honest right now, like and I know you know this, but or I've told you this, but my biggest
Yeah.
struggle as a musician, I think,
Mm.
is creatively improvise. I feel like I'm a creative person in a lot of aspects, but when it comes to creatively improvising as a musician, that's where I really struggle. Where I really excel is, hey, if there's a song, doesn't matter how hard, how fast, how intricate, I feel like I can learn it. I can put together a really
Mm.
good cover of that song. However, when it comes to coming up with a solo on a fly, that's where I really struggle. And I still think back to the video that's kind of how I found you was you were improvising over oh, what's that? It's like Daddy Yankee, Justin
Oh,
Bieber.
I think it was, Despacito.
Yes. Dude,
Yeah, I
like
remember that.
the melody you put together, like I was like, dude, yeah, wow. Like I was blown away. And
Thank you.
that's still where that's where I want to be. It's like I really, and I feel like I've come a long way from where I was before that video. And there's so many things you've taught me, going through your what was it? Was it 2 years? I think it's been about 2 years. I went through
I think so.
your how to solo over everything course, and that was awesome. And I want to get back into the pentatonic way improv. I've been off X, but I'd like to get back into it and weekly do the jams and stuff like that because
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is it's just like playing live. If you're playing live, like you will pick up things that you're like, wow, man, I'm just
Yeah.
naturally picking this up. Same thing with like jamming over a track and how in the how to solo over everything course, it was like, okay, here's the progression. Let's see, with what chord tones we're using here on each chord. Okay, and now let's come up with something creative. So I think that helps a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with what you're saying about playing live and being comparable to having that accountability to show up every week and have something to perform for, having a reason to pick up the guitar and challenge yourself. I think you're one of the best students I had improvise wise.
Oh,
I
thank
don't think you
you.
give yourself enough credit, but well, I appreciate the kind words. Um yeah, I mean, yeah, the Twitter jam is up to the 103rd weekly jam.
That's insane,
So I think back and I missed maybe 1 week. So that's like I'm thinking
dude.
163 solos I put out there. I had to show up, play over this track, just and people are going to watch it. So right, that puts the extra bit of pressure on it. So you can't just be like phoning it in. You're like, I want something that
Yeah,
I'm proud of, right?
yeah,
And that's what inspired we meet up, man. You come any Monday for the Pentatonic Way, the group coaching. It was inspired by that where we would do the jam and then it was just like you're like, okay, cool. And I'd try to give feedback to everybody and just kind of be like, that was cool, man. I like this, I like that. But I wanted it to be more like we meet up and watch the stuff together and I
hmm
can give feedback as somebody that kind of knows something. I can say, oh, I love this if you want to take it to the next level. So anytime you want to come in, come hang out. Monday
yeah,
nights,
absolutely,
we'll chill
dude. I'd
out.
love to. I'd love to. I know my work
Yeah.
schedule's kind of all over the place, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll pop in there in the next week or two if I'm off on Monday. So
Yeah. Yeah. You have
it's
access to the site so you can check out the challenges and see if one speaks out, calls out to you and is like, Justin, you got to jam over this backing track. It's right up your
I know
alley.
some of the ones that don't speak to me. I know some of them. I'd be like, I got this great idea, and I try it out, and I'm like, oh, that sounded horrible, man. Maybe I won't do that. But that is so
Well,
cool
then,
coming from, like, a standpoint where, like, especially from, like, somebody who's, like, been doing YouTube for a little bit, you can see like, I've seen so many people from all over the world pretty much, comment with their video, and it's like, "Wow, this person's really watching me." Like, that's unbelievable. Like, that's one thing that it's gotta be, like, gratifying because, like, I get a ton of comments and I get a ton of thank yous and things like that, but I don't get to really see the person behind it. It's just kinda like, "Hey, thanks, man, I appreciate it," Sydney, Australia, or, "Hey, thanks, so much, you helped me a
amazing.
bunch," somewhere Italy, and I'm like, "That is so cool," but I'd love to see like, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, "Hey," and every now and then it comes through, somebody will send me a video like, "Dude, you taught me this," and they'll be playing it, I'm like, "That is so cool," like, "Send me more, I would love to see more," like, "I love this stuff, you guys
Yeah.
are awesome," And yeah, but the pentatonic way, dude, those jams, like, I'm like, whoa, I've never seen this guy before. Who's this guy? And who's this guy? And who's this guy? Like, does that kind of blow your
Yeah,
mind? You're just like, dude, like, yeah.
it does, from all over the world, and, like, man, I've learned so much from just watching the other submissions, like, you pick something up, and I mean, mostly it's I watch the guys that are kinda like they play more simply and melodic and use motifs, and you're just like, "Man, I gotta slow down." I'm always just trying to throw as many notes in as I can, and I watch this guy and be like, "Oh my god, he's so, like, mature in his playing," or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word,
Yeah.
but you're just like, "Man, that's what it is. That's how it should be." And then just a little flash here and there, or
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll listen to something that I played, and I'm like, "Oh, I should have repeated that," instead of going and find another idea. So you learn a lot, not just from doing it, but from seeing other players, like you're saying, and then, every once in a while, someone be like, "Thanks for putting this together," and
Mhm.
it makes you feel good, as a
Yeah.
teacher, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool, man. How has your teaching philosophy changed over time? Has it at all, or is it more just the same?
It has. I've definitely, I think I've grown a lot as a musician, and especially from it's funny because, I am self-taught for the most part, with all the basics, but then I got to this point and we were talking about I think we mentioned plateaus earlier, but I would hit
Yeah.
these plateaus after, certain levels like, hey, I'd start to learn songs and then I'd be like, okay, what do I do now? Or I feel like I'm not getting any better. Or,
Mm.
I'm at this level and I feel like no matter what I do, I'm just not getting any better. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is you have to switch it up. And probably that goes with anything in life. What do they say that definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yep.
You got to change it up. And so, especially with teaching, like I started out with that ebook, and that morphed into a video course, and that morphed into some other stuff. I offer that stuff on my Patreon, but
Nice.
I've had to tweak and fine tune things so much over the years because I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm not teaching that the most effective way possible. Maybe that's actually detrimental. So
Mm.
it's one I forgot which I was reading a book and they were talking about I actually use this in my course, but they talk about a plane. Like a plane takes off with the goal in reaching its destination. But
Hmm.
during the flight, the pilot has to fine tune so many, small adjustments to get the plane on the right course. And if you just take off and just shoot straight for where you're going, I mean, you got the curvature of the earth, you have the earth turning, you have everything. You have to constantly modify your approach. And that's
Yeah.
kinda like what it's been with playing and teaching. And I've had, like you've helped me a ton. I consider you one of my teachers. I have a teacher in Arizona, Lightel Reefer, who's amazing. He's been a coach to me. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's taught me a lot. I've taken a lot from him, and also Ryan Goggin online.
Mm.
I've done some coaching through him. He's really good as well. I think you kind of you pick and choose the teachers that you feel you can benefit the most from, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Because I've had some other teachers. I took lessons from a jazz guy here locally because I'm like, you know what, this is different, right? I'm gonna, throw
Yeah.
myself out of my comfort zone and see how this takes off. And literally, I can't think of. I'm sure I learned something from him, but we just weren't on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Another one thing I'll tell anybody, and I know I talk about this a lot on my channel and a lot when it comes to finding a guitar teacher, or should I watch YouTube videos? Should I go seek someone in person? There's a million guitar teachers out there. There really are. You have to find one that speaks to you. And not only that
Yep.
speaks to you, but that operates on your wavelength. It's funny. I remember there was one guy in the area that came super, super, super highly recommended. And I'm like, wow, this guy's got to be great. This guy's got to be great. He charged a ton of money. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't care, whatever. I'll try it for a while. I'll pay it. And this is years and years ago. And this guy had a studio. This guy had this and this and this. And I ended up going to him. And I remember it was probably 5 or 10 lessons in before I heard him play anything or I ever saw him play. He never would hold his guitar. And I'm
Huh.
like, what's the deal here? Okay, so finally I remember I sat down and I asked him and I'm like, hey dude, I'm like, all right, yeah, we're 10 seconds in. You've got this. binder you've given me and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, let's hear you play something. And he's like, you want to hear me play something? I'm like, yeah. So he picks up his guitar and he played, was it free? I can't remember if it was Freebird. It wasn't, I mean, the guy could play guitar, but there was so many things that just were off about it. And I was like, okay, and that might have just been because he wasn't playing on my level to where like it wasn't what I wanted to learn, his style or whatever. And that's the same thing with, and
Huh.
I tell people all the time with my style, like I focus on beginners, try to break stuff down super easy. I've had tons of probably, um I don't know, NYU School of Music, majors, be like, dude, you're doing this wrong, or that's not part of
Ugh.
this, and you're completely da da da. And I'm like, you know what? Like, hey, I don't know theory as well as maybe somebody else, but I'm just trying to break it down in an easy way. And if somebody doesn't like
Right.
it, hey, you can find another lesson that'll teach it to you in the fashion that you want. So that's kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've had to always tweak things and change things, but overall, I think, I'm always going to grow as a musician. I'm never going to get to where I'm going to be like, I think that's the curse of the musician, right? It's like you
Yeah.
never get to where you want to be. You're always like, man, this could be better. That could be better. This could be better.
100%.
So
And I think that's the journey too, like it's something you can invest in over time. Like you don't lose interest in it. Maybe you hit those plateaus. But I remember watching a video by John Nathan Cordy. He's just a fantastic guitar player. Does a lot of stuff with modelers, but every video he just jams out at the beginning. He's like Eric Johnson sounding, John Petrucci, just amazing jams. But he was talking about plateaus, and it really kind of changed my mindset about him. He's like, like we see him as a wall, but plateaus, maybe that's just that time when you can just enjoy where you're at. Like you don't
yeah,
have to learn anything. You know what I mean? Maybe you can just
that's a good
like, you're like,
point.
yeah, I know this much now, and I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it, and there's no pressure. There's not a race. There's no end to this. And
Yeah.
then when you feel like, okay, I'm bored with this, then you, like you're saying, mix it up, try something else, get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, I think that's great advice. But also, yeah, that's a new way to think about plateaus. That's less
I'm going to keep that in mind. That's really, yeah, it's
intimidating.
glass half full. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just enjoy where you're at. Whatever you're
Mhm.
doing is right. Right. Cool. So I was going to ask you, talk about plateaus. Like if someone listening feels stuck right now, what's the first thing they should do this week to get what would be some of those things they could try to get out of their comfort zone or mix it up?
So, and I'll speak for myself because this is what's helped me, and I don't know if this is traditionally what most guitar players want to hear, but think first is identify the problem. What areas do you feel you're you're plateauing on? And like what problems do you think you're having? What are the issues right now you're dealing with? And then what I would do is I would come up with like a 6-month goal and then
Mm,
like a 2-year goal. And basically be okay, in 6 months, I want to be able to play this solo without having to, like, let's say it's a solo with a bunch of bends or something like that, but you want to play it on acoustic. Okay, I want to, well, whatever it is, basically identify those, make some short term goals that will help you take some short-term steps, I guess I should say, that'll help you reach those short-term goals. And then basically see where you're at once you hit that 6 months or 2 years. And if things still really haven't changed, then I mean, and maybe I never like to say, hey, take a break, but take a break. Take a break, take a step
yeah,
back, maybe take a month off of playing and focus on something else and then come back to it. When you come back with fresh eyes, it's always way easier. Um,
yeah.
and that's one thing that I remember I read about. It was in a psychology class, but I talk about it too in my course. But it's like this incubation effect. Like I'll sit there, and if I'm like, okay, let's say I'm a beginner, and I'm like, I'm going to learn the G chord this week, and I sit down Monday morning and I practice for 20 minutes on the G chord, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting there, but I still can't get it. And then I walk away from it. Then I come back after lunch and I'm practicing, and I'm like, I still can't get it. And then I keep on practicing. And then Tuesday comes around and it's a little bit better, and then Tuesday
Mm.
afternoon, I practice, and then I completely am off the rails. And I'm like, I cannot get this thing. I'm even worse than I
I've
was
been
on
there.
Monday morning. What do I do? Take a step back, take a rest, come back to it in 2 days. And
Mm.
it's crazy how our minds work. I feel like it's like through osmosis, you basically learn it even though you've taken a step away from it.
Yeah,
So that's always helped me, and and never stop learning. Never stop learning. Always have the attitude that, hey, I'm always willing to learn more and try new things.
that's it. That sense of curiosity, right? That's just gonna pull you through life. I love that. Yeah. No, great advice. Great advice. And I like the goal setting, 6 months, yearly. I have been pushing seasonally too. Just to have a goal per season. Like, that might help too for these smaller ones. And that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you. This is the rapid fire segment.
Okay.
All right. Are you
Lay
ready?
it on me. Lay it on me.
Stretch out. All right. Who is your favorite guitar player?
Man.
I know that's a tough one. These are
Yeah.
tough.
How do you rapid fire me with that? Man, there's so many. Okay, I'm just gonna say Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
there's
good
so many,
choice.
but I'm Eddie Van Halen's probably my number one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's so well rounded. He's flashy, groundbreaking. His rhythm playing is top notch. His
Yeah.
compositional skills. It just looks like he's having so much fun. I get it. He's well rounded guitar god right there. That's good. Who would you say is the most underrated guitarist?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
I mean, there's a lot.
Okay, okay, I got it. John Mayer.
Yeah.
John
Oh, good
Mayer,
choice.
I used to think he was just a poppy, young, kind of like writing love songs on his acoustic guitar type, maybe like a more sappy Sheeran, but John Mayer is an unbelievable guitarist, and
Yeah.
the more I listen to his music and the more I, study the licks he plays and stuff like that, unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to love Clap. I'll probably, get killed for saying this, but I think he's surpassed Clapton. I hate saying that,
Whoa.
but
That's a
I've seen
bold
so
statement.
much of his stuff. I know, yeah, I don't know. Can we edit that out? No, yeah, no, just
Nope.
kidding.
Nope.
Yeah. I gotta say, and I love Clapton too, but man, John Mayer, he's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He really is.
He really is, man. He really is. And I was of the same mind, like he went to Berkeley. I think he was there right before I was there. And I got out and I'm going like, what? I'm listening to My Body's a Wonderland. I'm like, okay, he's having a lot of success. But then over time, like he started showing up in this guitar, this whole other frame of viewing him as a musician. Now he's like a guitar player. I'm like, okay, all right. And then he just keeps going and showing up in these different places and holding his own and like actually being amazing. And then,
Yeah.
now he played with the Dead. He's their lead guitar player. It's like,
Yeah. Isn't that
that's like
amazing?
yeah, if that's not validation, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, just fantastic. Good choice. And not only that, but he's also a great teacher online and like an evangelist for the guitar as an instrument and a way of life. So I agree, man. That's great. But I don't think he does get a lot of the credit that he deserves for where he's at because of that first sort of
Mhm.
the stigma of pop teen idol.
What's so funny though is like, and not to spend too much time on this rapid fire question, but one of actually that one teacher, Lytel Reefer, was telling me about this. But it's funny because like I can listen to a whole John Mayer album. I can listen to a whole Eddie Van Halen album. When I think of other guitarists like V. Malmsteen, like, okay, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, he can play fast licks and things like that. Can I listen to a whole? I think you have to ask yourself, can I listen to a whole album on this musician? If you can, great. I think that's a keeper.
Right.
But I think if you're like, you know what? I appreciate his style, but I don't want to hear any more of it. It sounds like, noise to me. Then maybe like Jimi Hendrix, I can listen to a whole Jimi Hendrix album. Some people
Hmm.
maybe might not say the same thing. But if you can listen to a whole album, then they have that amazing songwriting capability, just like John Mayer does. He can play amazing licks and then he can also write songs.
Yep. No, that's so true. That's so true. I think the whole album as a genre from beginning to end is kind of a lost art, I was talking about it today, talking about listening. I had a long trip to take with my kids, and I put on The Wall. I know, Dark Side of the Moon. I was like, guys, we're just going to listen to this all the way through. And I think they liked it. I liked it anyway, but
Yeah.
you know, that's another one where you can just listen to the whole thing, and you just
Oh, yeah.
it's a trip, you know, from start to finish. So
With or without the Wizard of Oz playing when you press play at
yeah,
the lion's roar.
that's so freaky that works.
I know. I know.
Um, all right, what would you say is a song that every guitarist should learn?
Oh man. Ooh, that's a really tough one.
Sorry,
I would
man.
say one song that I always teach for whatever reason is Heart of Gold by Neil Young. I feel
Ooh,
like
good
it's an
one.
easy song for any beginner to learn. It's also got some cool little fills in there that are easy to learn. If you that's a song that doesn't take a whole lot of effort and you can sound like a pro.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great choice. Has all those cool open chords, sort of fills, like you're
Mhm.
saying, and the strumming. If you're just getting going, perfect.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil
Yeah,
Young.
a lot of Neil Young, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same birthday
Oh, no
randomly.
way! I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know
another
that.
Neil. Yeah, yep,
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
also
awesome.
Charles
You never
Manson
told me
too. So
that. Oh,
no,
yeah.
that never came up. And David Schwimmer, I think. So yeah. All right, that's enough on people that share my birthday. But uh, what would you say is the biggest guitar myth? This is the last rapid fire question. So, what's the biggest guitar myth if you had to choose one?
This one's easy. This one's easy for me, and um I would say people think they have to have natural talent, and I think that's a myth. I think that it depends on how bad you want it. I think that
Yep,
that thinking you have to have natural talent, I think that that's an easy out to basically say, "It's not guitar is not for me." I think it's a
yep,
cop out, but I think anyone who has the determination to put in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make time for guitar daily," just a little tiny window every day, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 15 minutes twice a day, whatever it is. If
yep.
you have the ability and want to make time just that much, you can play guitar. And you can be as good as you wanna be. You just have to basically do it, and that's where so many people struggle is like my neighbor the other day, he's like, "Hey, I got a bass guitar, let me know if I should sell it or if you wanna teach me a couple notes on it, da, da, da," and like, already I could tell by from his attitude, I'm like, "You're probably not gonna learn guitar because
Uh,
the way you're talking about it right now, but if you came to me and you were like, 'Dude, you gotta teach me how to play. Here, I'll bring in my guitar, to you tomorrow. Do you have 5 minutes? Show me some chords.' Show me, dude. Show me." And that's the person that I think will have success with the guitar.
I love that. I think you're absolutely right. I've seen it in person. I've seen it. A friend of mine started at the same time, and he was all in, dude. He was in. He had the clothes, he had everything, and everything was guitar, and he played all the time. But his sense to rhythm was just not there, dude. And he would get so, we were 12, 13, and he would get ridiculed for it and playing. He didn't care. He just keep showing up and doing it. Um, and I went away for a little while and came back, maybe a year, spot on. He had it. His rhythm was tight. He just kept doing it and showing up and putting in the work. And you wouldn't tell. You wouldn't have any idea that just a year ago it was a train wreck, like. But I remember thinking, like, well, I guess he just doesn't have it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so I was 12. So that was the first instance where I saw that too. So that myth is totally busted. And when I was teaching in person, I would notice that too. The kids that really progressed were the ones that were hungry, like you're saying. They had that fire that they wanted to learn, and they'd say, "Oh, I learned the thing that you showed me. Then I also saw this," and ask you about other stuff. And they'd be like, "Yeah, and I learned this song. And what do you think about that? This?" And you're like, "Where do you find the time to do this?" But they're just so passionate. I think that's what it is. It's not natural talent. It's just natural interest and curiosity, enthusiasm.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Last question before we wrap up, if you could go back
Yeah.
in time and give your younger guitar player self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, man. That's probably the most complicated,
That's a tough one.
no, that I was gonna say, I thought this last one was gonna be easy, but,
I saved the hard one for last.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say just know that, like you said, this is a journey, but just know that, you'll have trials and tribulations through it. Like, you'll get discouraged, you will. And I've had a couple times where whether life got in the way, or I remember I was playing live years ago, and I was playing with 2 guys who were really good friends of mine, and one guy, his kinda ego took over a little bit. It turned into something that wasn't very fun, and I kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater. I kinda was like, "You know what?" I tied my guitar playing to the gigging we were doing, and it turned into a job, and I
Mm,
really kind of like, just guitar playing, music, everything besides listening to music in my car. I was kinda done with it, and I was kind of
wow.
like, "You know what? Like, right now, I'm gonna take a step back," and this is right when my YouTube channel was really taking off. I think this was when, man, I would think I was getting about 400,000 people. What was it? 400,000 people per, I forgot the exact
Wow.
statistic, but, yeah, like, I basically got really kind of discouraged over it. And
Mm,
what I should have done, if I could tell my younger self, just, "Hey, it's not a big deal. If this becomes a job, if this becomes a task, if this puts a bad taste in your mouth, just stop doing it. Take a break. Take a step back, give it some time, and then just, re reassess the situation." And that's ultimately what I kind of did, but I was really pulling teeth back then with it, because I was like, "You know what?
mm.
Maybe guitar playing is not for me. Maybe I'll just, do something else. Maybe I'll find a new hobby,"
Oh,
and that's that. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I stuck with it, and
yeah, me too.
it's been an amazing journey. I've met so many people, and you know, it's been, that's how I met you. It's been unbelievable. So yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's great, man. Yeah, it's no pressure. I used to jam with a guy and he would just say, "Hey, man, it's just music. Don't stress out
Yeah.
about it."
Yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
always
Yeah.
ringing in my head. Barney's always like, "It's just music, man. It's not, what are we getting
Yeah.
stressed out for? No worries."
That's good
So,
advice. Yeah. I'm gonna
yeah,
think about that next time. Next time I play
just
Adam's
music.
song. Yeah.
It sounds like you sing much better now, but that was a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting place to try out. Maybe I could sing. Let me try it in front of all these
Yeah.
people.
Not even one practice rep before that, but yeah, I learned the hard way, like many of you will with music, so.
Yeah, those hard lessons stick more, I think. So that's good. um, so Justin, where can people find you online, man, and interact with you, and also in real life? Where can they meet up with you and hang out?
Yeah. So, obviously my YouTube channel is GuitarMadeEZ. Some people call it GuitarMadeEZ, but it's basically all one word: guitar made, and then E as in elephant, Z as in zebra. That's my YouTube. And I've got a TikTok. I'm pretty much on all social media, but YouTube's the main one. TikTok and Instagram I focus on, along with YouTube. But so you can find me on there. Send me a DM, or leave me a comment. Say what's up.
Right?
And then also I'm on Patreon as well. I've taken a step back. I was posting a bunch of individual lessons, which I'm going to continue here soon. But I'm also retooling my Patreon right now, which should be done in the next month, where I'm going to have all kinds of new freebies, and my course, which I was on Teachable. I actually moved it off Teachable because Teachable wasn't really working out for me, and I'm put it on Patreon. So if you want to learn how to play the guitar in its entirety, I've got all that on there for you on Patreon. So check it out, patreon.com/guitarmadeeasy. And then just, yeah, once I have some more dates in the books, I'll post them on YouTube, on Patreon. I'd love to meet up with you guys. It's really cool. Like Neil seeing all of his PW Improv Jam people. I'd love to see what you guys have been learning out there, and see some of the progress you've been making. So that's just really rewarding for me on my end to see how well, you know, everybody's doing out there from these YouTube lessons and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And we'll see what the future holds. And yeah, once life calms down in about a month, I'm back in full force. So yeah.
I love that, man. Well, good luck on the promotion. I hope that
Thank you.
works
Thank
out. And
you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And congrats on all the success, man. I think he's well deserved. And I wish I could make it
Thanks,
out to
man.
Arizona, see some dates. When if you make it to the East Coast here, I'd love to
Same
come out
thing.
and
Yeah.
hang with you.
I'll totally
Cool.
let you know. And yeah, when you come out west, let me know. We'll meet up. It's about
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
It's been, yeah, almost what, like almost a decade. We got to meet up.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Arizona, real quick?
So I'm in like Phoenix, Scottsdale area.
Oh,
So kind of on
okay.
the border. So
I make it
yeah,
out to Kingman
so
every once in a while. So
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
you
so
probably
maybe we
flying to
can meet
Vegas
up.
though, right?
That's true. Yep. And then
Okay.
there's like an hour and a half ride or 2 hour ride.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
not near anything.
No, no.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
cool.
cool, man. Well, thanks for
Well, thanks for
hanging.
having me on here, man. Yeah, this was
Oh,
fun.
man, it was my pleasure. Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. Yeah, everybody check out Justin's channel, GuitarMadeEZ.com, and his Patreon. And yeah, fantastic, Justin. Take care, brother.
Thanks, buddy. See you, Neil. See you guys.